Guys. Hi guys. I'm going to start the A-level biology English medium papers and revision class for 2023 students from next month onward. And these classes are being conducted only online, not physical. So you can join anywhere from the country for these classes. I would like to give an introduction how these classes work for you. For that, I have selected last paper, 2022 paper, and also I try to focus more on the last 10 questions because most of the student, they feel difficult in doing this last 10 question. Let's look the first question. Okay. The first question is, it's quite difficult questions because it covers many areas of the syllabus. Okay, let's see how we can handle the situation, right? And just, right, okay, right. Now, we have to select response or responses which indicate example for 5 adjacent hierarchical level of biological organization. Okay, first of all, we should understand, analyze the question, what is hierarchical level of biological organization? This is the one you learn in Unit 1, biological level of hierarchical organization, or hierarchical level of biological organization. Another thing is, it should be linked with the next one, like a 5 adjacent. That's also another part. There should be link, a relationship between each other. There should be a biological hierarchy and there also relationship. It has two things. What is we learn in theory, the hierarchical level of biological organization we have to handle. At the same time, we have to match the adjacent ones are relevant to each other. Right? So that's very important thing. So we need to understand the question. If we analyze the question and understand well, then it's easy to answer the question. Okay, right. So just to understand how it works, we go to the first one. Now, another thing I thought to introduce, not just find the answer, but also I give uh, important revision lessons with the questions. Right? Okay, next, we try to see hierarchical level of biological organization. This is the one you learn in Unit 1, but I will revise it like this. Okay, so here I make a line here, and I make another line here, like this. So here's a 1, here's a 2, and here's a 3. Now, why I did like this? So there are 3 levels, but when it comes to the biological hierarchical level, we only going to discuss 2 and 3, right? So it's like this. Now here we can get the atoms, elements, like that. The first level is atom and elements coming up. But we are not taking this part as a biological hierarchy. The biological hierarchy always start with molecule. Molecules make the organelles. Organelles make the cells. Cells make the tissues. Tissues make the organ. Organ make the organ system. And organ system make the organism. Right. So molecules, organelles, molecules like carbohydrate, lipid, and proteins, DNA, RNA like molecules, and organelles like ribosomes, mitochondria, chloroplast, and cells. There are many cells: red blood cell, white blood cells, muscle cells, like that. And tissues. Tissues are four types of tissues: epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous tissues. And then organ, just like heart, an organ system, circulatory system, and organisms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the first level of hierarchical level of biological organization. Then the next level is the organisms. So collection of organisms. So when it comes to the species, collection of species, one kind of a species is population. Now several species in one place and they have some kind of interactions is called community. So communities in a place where they have an interaction with the physical environment make the ecosystem. That means living and non-living and their interactions. And the last things coming up is large ecosystems are called biomes, and all the biomes collected to make the biosphere. Okay? Biomes and the biosphere. Large ecosystems are biomes. All the biomes collected to make the biosphere. Now you see this 12 level is considered as the hierarchical level of biological organization. So you should know how to define certain things like ecosystem, tissues, biomes, biosphere, populations, like that. Okay. Now I just want to also show you in a resource book. You can see same thing: molecules, organelles, cells, tissues, organs, organ system, organisms, population, communities, ecosystem, and biomes is not here, but we should include biomes because you have to learn biomes in the environmental biology, and the biosphere. So biosphere I take as 11, right? Okay, now this is the theory you need from Unit 1. You should have a good understanding of this theory in Unit 1. So we try to now go to each choice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and check how these things are fitting to this biological hierarchical level of biological organization. Let's say first one. Before that, I'm going to revise quickly certain things required to understand, to correctly identify the question answer, right? Now, plant tissues. Plant tissues, how many type of plant tissues we have it? Animals, 4 tissues. That is epithelial, connective, muscles and nervous. Plant, 3. What are the 3 tissues are? Dermal, ground, vascular. Dermal, ground, vascular, right? So dermal, ground, and vascular. Dermal, ground, and vascular tissues. So dermal tissues are epidermal and stomata, ground tissue, parenchyma, sclerenchyma, and collenchyma, xylem and phloem considered as a vascular tissues. Okay. Then the next thing you need, what are the organs of the plant? Organs are root, stem, leaves, and flowers. Roots, stem, leaf, and flowers. This should be also important to understand. Okay, now shall we try to understand further? The question is based on mostly xylem. Now, xylem is made out of 4 types of cells. So, what are the 4 types of cells? So, one is the main cell conducting water is vessel, xylem vessel element. So, it has this perforation plate and it is important to conduct, that's the main type of cells conducting the border. And the second time is tracheids. Tracheids, they don't have a perforating plates. Instead, they connect with the pits and they have a tapered end. So this tapered end connected with another tapered end of the tracheids, and tapered ends are connected with pits. So they can also transport water. So the other main two type of cells transport water, and these two cells are mostly dead cells at the end, and they composed of a lignified cell wall. Apart from that, we can also find sclerenchyma cells, and we can also find these parenchyma cells. Right? So vessel elements, tracheids, sclerenchyma fiber, and parenchyma cells. So here we consider as xylem tissues, but you can understand they are composed of different type of cells. So according to the definition of tissues, tissue is a similar kind of cells joined together for particular function. Function is water transport, and here apart from water transport, they also provide the structural support to the plants. Right. So we also revise the important things about the xylem. Now we try to find whether this is correct or not. Okay, cellulose. So what is cellulose? Cellulose is molecules, right? So cellulose is molecules which make the plant cell wall consist of beta glucose. Beta glucose joined by 1,4 glycosidic bonds to make a long chains, and these long chains are joined together by hydrogen bonds, and they make the cellulose molecules. It's a main part of the cell wall. Right. Cellulose and then a tracheid. So what are tracheids? Tracheids is a cell. Tracheid is a cell. So then I write here tracheid. Now you see there is a missing, hierarchical level is missing. There is no organelles here. So this one is missing here. Next, cells joined together make the tissues. Okay, xylem. That's fine. And then xylem is part of the root. The different tissues make the roots. It's correct. And then root is a organ, and there is a no organ system here, and directly going to the plants. So there is no organ systems at this place, and it is going to the organism. So there is two missing links here. As a result, we cannot take this as a correct hierarchical level because two things are missing in this question. Okay, next go to the DNA, nucleus, neuron, brain, nervous system. Just to revise, central nervous system consists of brain and the spinal cord. Brain and the spinal cord. This is brain and that's the spinal cord. And apart from that, peripheral nervous system consists of peripheral nerves, and we can find large amount of peripheral nerves, and also these cranial nerves. It's also coming from the brain. So together it makes the nervous system. Right, now nervous system consists of neuron. Nervous system consists of neuron, and supportive cells are called neuroglial cells. So neuroglial cells and neurons. So neuron, we can find here nucleus, and inside we have a nucleic acid. Right? So then we try to answer this question again. DNA is a molecule, correct? Nucleus is an organ, correct? Neuron is a cell, correct? Then neuron join together to make the nervous tissues, but here is missing, and tissues join together make organs. Brain, an organ system, nervous system. So here the link between neuron to brain. There's a missing. Neuron is a cell, brain is a organ. Then tissue is missing here. So we can consider this is also not correct hierarchical level of biological organization. Okay, third choice. Before we're going to find third choice, we need a small revision about the climatic zones of Sri Lanka. Now, when you take climatic zones, we have 4 zones. Very dry area called arid zones, and then a little bit less than a dry, arid zone, dry zone, 1, 2, and the wet zone before that, intermediate zone, and the wet zone. So there are 4 zones we can divide according to the climatic conditions based on basically the rainfall, temperature, and sea level. Okay. Now, when it comes to a tropical dry mixed evergreen forest. So this tropical dry mixed evergreen forest can be found found in the dry zone. So dry zone is basically the area we can name as Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Trincomalee, Madakalapura, this area, right? And here the typical nature of the forest, they have a large empty areas which is covered with mostly the shrubs, and they have a canopies like this, and also they have a sub canopies like this. So it consists of canopies, sub canopies, and shrubs. Temperature is average 29, and rainfall 1,500 millimeter per year. Annual rainfall is this, and consists of plants like large trees, Veera, Palu, Kalura, and they have animals like elephants, large a population of elephants in Asia distributed in these forests, and the deers, bears, and the leopards. So these are the animals we can find in this tropical dry mix evergreen forest. Okay, here, now what is nervous system? Is an organ system, nervous system. What is deer? Deer is an organism. So herd of deer. So group of same animals is called population. So then the collection of different animals. So it's a wild animals, collection of different animals is communities. And dry mixed evergreen forest represent the ecosystem. So I just write here dry mixed evergreen forest. Okay, now we see here it works, organ system, nervous system. The animals is organism, group of same kind of animals is a populations, and then different animals is communities, and this is one of the ecosystem in Sri Lanka in dry zone, kind of a dry zone forest. So this C is correct. So then we go to the second one. I think this is not that hard for anyone. So ATP is a molecule. Mitochondria is a organelles. Eosinophil is a white blood cell. Blood is a kind of a connective tissues, and the heart is organ. So this is very easily uh, fit into the hierarchical level of biological organization. ADP, mitochondria, eosinophil, blood, and heart. So this is perfectly again matching. That's also correct there. Next one, again plant tissues three types, and each uh, dermal, ground, and vascular tissues has two types and three types and two types. And organs are flower, leaf, stem, and root. Right. Ribulose bisphosphate is important for the Calvin cycle, RUBP. So it fix ribulose uh, ribulose bisphosphate is important for the Calvin cycle. So RUBP plus carbon dioxide make the next intermediate form, and then it form glycerate 3-phosphate catalyzed by Rubisco enzyme. So it's a molecule, and this happened in the chloroplast. That's a link. Chloroplast, it's fitting to the organelle because Calvin cycle take place in the chloroplast. Chloroplast we can find in the mesophyll cells, because mesophyll cells are the main type of photosynthetic cells. Then next thing is tissues. Uh, leaf. Leaf is an organ. Here it's missing. This one is missing. And then plant is again organism. So these two links are missing. So we cannot take this one. As a result, finally, we take C and D as a correct answer. So C and D, correct choice is 4. Correct choice is 4 because C and D, we can see correct hierarchical level of biological organization. Okay, so we're going to do like this our papers, all the questions. To join this 2023 revision and paper class starting next month, you can visit my website tulipdust.com, and then you can register, and then we can start the classes. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also give me a like. Thank you very much.